What's up, everybody? It's your boy Rebel here, and for today's episode, part 2 of Crash Bandicoot 1 Levels Ranked, the better half of the levels ranked. Part 2. Yes, with Crash Bandicoot 4 less than 2 months away, I wanted to take a look back at the classics that got us to where we are today. So today I'll be taking a look back at the 13 better levels out of the 26 levels in the original Crash Bandicoot 1. I did just rank the worst half of the levels, so feel free to go watch that. Also, for ease of access and blah blah blah, I'll be playing the Insane Trilogy edition of the game. Yeah. So coming in right in the middle, we have number 13, Native Fortress, a pretty basic level, 2D side-scrolling. Now this themed level with the native village wall isn't necessarily my favorite. However, I will say that the level isn't bad. It's straightforward and makes sense and is the right level of difficulty for this point in the game. I do like the secret of going behind the wall and skipping a challenging section of the level, with no boxes in it, I might add. Also, the red gem path takes you up into the clouds, an incredibly unique segment, literally unlike anything else in the game. Also, there's another area with 3 fire pits that has a ledge to rest on in the middle, and if you don't know about this, that area can seem incredibly tough. Overall, it's a pretty fun level, but the parts where you're scaling up the wall can be a little bit frustrating if you happen to miss one of the jumpy boxes. And I don't like being frustrated. Number 12, Toxic Waste. Yes, maybe this is higher up on my list than many of you would put it, but I do really enjoy this level. Now yes, this level does suffer from Crash 1's questionable depth perception, but oh my god, have you heard the song for this level? It's so metal it makes my ears bleed in a good way. And yes, I'm mainly referring to the Insane Trilogy version of the song, but the original wasn't that bad either. I also love the toxic theme of the level. For being this late in the game, it's pretty cool. I also love how the jumping barrels play a trick on you. You think you have a high chance of getting smushed, however I just ran through this level, never slowed down once, and the jumpy barrels came and I only got hit maybe once when trying this. Yes, this is a colored gem level, but it's relatively short, so if you manage to just run under the jumping barrels, it's pretty easy. Not as easy as, say, Lights Out, but almost. In fact, the shortness of this level is why I tend to dislike it. They could have added some depth variation, like the inside of the temple levels, to make it a little longer and more interesting, but oh well. Number 11, Cortex Power. Now I love the theme of this level, and I love the start where it shows the sign, and it seems like it's gonna be a good level. Then you walk forward a little bit and... yes, right when you start this level, the camera pans up to this horrible angle, and this angle is present the entire level. Add that to the 4 pipes with the electricity, with the enemies waiting right after to punish you if you don't land with the spin, then you have the fact that this level has branching paths. Yes, you heard me right, paths. Plural, not just one branching path, but multiple. Yes, in this level you have to go down to the right path where you reach another fork and take the right path again to get a couple boxes at a dead end. You go back to the second fork and take the left path, which takes you forward to the end of another fork that you have to go halfway backwards through to the first fork with a blue gem path that takes you to another set of boxes. Then you reach the end of another fork that takes you back to the fork you went backwards down, and then you have to go down there, back to the blue gem path, and then you can progress to the end of the level, so there's a lot of backtracking here. And normally that would annoy me, and it does, but I still really enjoy this level for some odd reason, and I don't find it too challenging. Yeah, the only times I died a bunch were the parts where I kept trying to backtrack, even though I didn't need to because there weren't any boxes there anyway. Still fun though. And that leads us right into the top 10 levels, and coming in at number 10 is Fumbling in the Dark. Now personally, I love the levels where you need a light source. It's great in every Crash game, even this one. Now like Lights Out, which is in the worst half of this list, this level fixes the issues of Lights Out by extending the length of the level. It also slightly increases the difficulty, but just enough to make the level the right amount of challenging and long. Other levels in Crash make the second level of a specific theme a lot lot harder and longer, but fumbling finds the perfect balance. I will say needing to hop backwards at the start for a few Aku Aku boxes and lives is super annoying, especially when you die before the first checkpoint, but once you get to the first checkpoint, it's super enjoyable. It does get a little difficult when there are platforms moving back and forth, however, once you know where they are, it's a lot easier to deal with. I also love the inclusion of the spiders, needing to jump across them to reach the end, and the swinging blades can be pretty annoying as well.
And while I did die a few times on this level, seemingly stuck, I was thoroughly enjoying myself the entire time. And that's exactly what you want out of a Crash Bandicoot game. To enjoy your suffering.
Number 9, Upstream. Now this is one of my favorite themes of Crash levels, and I'll admit I do enjoy them more in Crash 2, cause the jetboard, obviously, but I still do enjoy these river levels. Now this stage is relatively easy, only requiring well-timed jumps and not slowing down to sink or get eaten by Venus flytraps. There's an orange gem path that takes you under a log to get one box, but the jumping on them correctly with the depth perception can lead to a death or two. Some more well-timed jumps, and then you get to the end. Well, then there's another orange gem path that takes you down even more of the level for 2 more boxes, the last part being a good length and a good difficulty, turning what would already be a fine level into an even better one.
And let's be honest, who doesn't want more Crash going up a river? I do, because it's f***ing awesome.
Number 8, Jaws of Darkness. Now I love the temple levels in Crash 1. They quite possibly might be my favorite theme of Crash levels in the first game, with the most true 2.5D levels out of the game along with the generator room. 2.5D? 2.75? These levels are great, even with the depth perception issue. Now this level does have a Cortex stage for a key, as well as having a blue gem path. The blue gem path takes you along a line of blue gems with many Aku Akus that you'll become invincible while making your way across the jumps, and with no need to backtrack after you reach the normal path again. It's awesome. However, there is one box hidden out of frame above these metal boxes. Like, okay, I'm just supposed to know that? It's pretty stupid. Another stupid thing is the snake that you normally spin, well, yeah, you have to jump on him or else he'll hit these boxes of TNT and destroy the second Cortex token. Then the last Cortex token and the Cortex platform are hidden off screen with Wumpas leading to it. At least this one tells you to go there. A little more platforming to the Tana stage, and then that's the end of the level.
It's a pretty fun and challenging level, but it isn't too difficult, thankfully. However, with the second Cortex token in the off-screen box, you might need the internet to beat this level, which is pretty stupid.
Number 7, Up the Creek. The second river level and the more fun of the two. More challenging than Upstream as it has more compressed enemy placement, needing more patience and more precise jumping. It also does have a small amount of backtracking needed, but it's just down these little lily pad things. Pretty simple except the depth perception issue once again.
I swear, if I have to say depth perception one more time, I'm poking someone's eye out.
I will say this level is short and not too difficult, but that doesn't stop the fact that this level is fun, and I'm guaranteed to have fun while playing it. Number 6, Sunset Vista. Now these outside of the temple levels are my second favorite theme, right behind being inside the actual temple. And while the Lost City came in at number 14,
spoilers I guess, but I did tell you to watch it.
This level doesn't have the downside of the Lost City as being a colored gem level.
So feel free to die over and over and over and over and over and over and over and
yes,
over.
No colored gem to worry about, which makes dying here not that bad. There are walls to push you out, platforms that retract back into the wall, and of course the bats and the lizards. There is a lizard halfway through the level that you have to jump on to hit a metal exclamation box, but at least it's in the frame. And then it's a little more wall scaling and challenging platforming till the end.
Yes, this level has a great theme, great design with a great amount of challenge, with things making you try a few times, but nothing seeming impossible.
Now into the top 5 with the Rolling Stones coming in at number 5. Now this level feels a lot like Jungle Rollers, except it actually has some thinking needed to beat it. Not a lot, mind you, but you can't just run through this level all willy-nilly. You have to time your jumps around the Rolling Stones. Now there is a hidden embryo token, but it's above a jump box, so you shouldn't miss it. It's got the second embryo token in the back left crate surrounded by the TNT, but I attempted to get them anyway in case there was a life, so you should have checked too. Then it's some jumping from pillar to pillar between the Rolling Stones, which is always fun, and then you get to the blue blue gem path, which I hate in this level because it just brings you down to a short hallway with 6 boxes. That's literally it. Then jumping from the gem to the rolling stone ledge killed me a few times because it's such an odd jump. The embryo stage itself is a little tough, but very doable, and then a few more jumps to the end of the stage.
Yes, this level is pretty easy, but you have to be trying the whole time. But it's super fun also. And it's also just really crash feeling. It's just a great level.
Number 4, Castle Machinery. Oh my god, this level is so much fun. Oh my god, I love it, 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 I love it. If you got the green gem in Temple Ruin, well, congrats. You can basically skip this level and get like 20 lives in the process. It's super cool if you're just trying to beat the game. However, if you got the green gem, chances are you're going for all the gems, meaning you'll be replaying this level the right way anyways. It is a cool thing to do though, and if you get a game over, come back here and the green gem path will once again have the 20-ish lives, but the actual level is very cool. I do love the theme. While it's admittedly not my favorite, this level has all you could want from a 2D side-scrolling level. Enemies, jumps, moving platforms. Some of the enemies are invincible, so that's cool. There are conveyor belts and steaming hot pipes all over, and navigating between them is a blast. There's moving platforms traveling right into the burning pipes, meaning you need to jump in advance, which is very clever. Some cool springy platforms that make you jump all high. There's a large gap with a bunch of boxes, which can seem difficult, but really isn't. Then a somewhat challenging moving platform with steaming hot pipes in its way, needing well-positioned jumps to clear it, and then you reach the end.
Castle Machinery is great. It's very challenging for a side-scroller, but not in the same way that Slippery Climb is, because that level sucks. This level is hard, but it is really fun, and you can play this level at your own pace, even if that pace is super fast, because there's not a lot of waiting around for stuff. And with the length, it's a level that I am always excited to play.
Number 3, Generator Room. Right after the difficulty spike in the game, this level is pretty challenging. But if you can handle the dreaded...
Don't say it. I swear to God. Don't.
Depth.
Don't.
Perception. So Generator Room is the orange gem level. However, while replaying this game, I beat this level in just over 4 minutes. And I did die a few times at the start, but this level isn't as challenging as it may seem. Some enemies over pits, but mostly they're spinnable, so you don't have to even worry about where they are if you can spin and jump simultaneously pretty naturally. There are a few forward moving areas with platforms that move up and down, making it hard to tell where they actually are, but if you jump when they're at their lowest and you're at their highest, you'll be fine. There is a Taunt stage, which, as easy as it is this late in the game, is pretty laughable. Then there are these invincible enemies over moving platforms, but the platforms move up and down. And it's a side-scrolling area, so it's not the platforms that'll confuse you, it's the enemies. However, just jump when the platform you're on is at its highest and the one in front of you will be at its lowest, and make sure the invincible enemies are towards the outside and about to turn around on either direction, and there should not be an issue. You do get an Aku mask before, but if you get hit, you could just fall to your death. But hopefully that's not an issue for you. There is a part with moving platforms that may get tough, but jump high enough and watch for Crash's shadow, and it's pretty easy. There is this box smudged between 2 TNTs, which normally wouldn't be an issue, but I did have an Aku, so hey, lucky me. Then a moving platform with pipes in its way, and once again you reach the end. I didn't get tricked by this part, but I almost did. So maybe that part sucks, but hey, I guess I'm just good at the game.
Yeah, this level might have been worse than the original because of but here it wasn't too bad. This level can be tough, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. It is really enjoyable for the difficulty level.
Number 2, Heavy Machinery. The first of the machinery levels. This one for some reason is more enjoyable to me than the other. But the other was 2 levels up, so they're both pretty damn awesome if you ask me. This level has hot pipes to jump over with enemies in between. It does have an awesomely hidden small bonus area with an embryo token, but with 2 enemies right there, why wouldn't you jump down there? There's a life right here above a checkpoint, but apparently I'm dumb or something. And then it's more of the same, amazing platforming and an amazing level. The embryo stage in this level is super fun, which makes up for Tana's being so lame.
This level is later in the game after the difficulty spike, and it's the first of its twins, so it's like that optimal level of challenging. It's challenging, it's fun, but it's not crazy hard, and overall it's pretty enjoyable. I love it, and honestly, with my most recent playthrough, I was very close to putting this in the #1 spot. However, that has to go to
Temple Ruins. Now, I might just be picking this level for nostalgic reasons. This level was my favorite growing up after all. Mainly because I wouldn't be able to get much further, and the difficulty at this level was perfect for me. Now that I'm older, this level is a lot easier and possibly too short, but frankly I don't care. This is my favorite theme of levels from the first game. I love the true 2.5D platforming with the left, right, and forwards and backwards. There might be an issue with the platforms, but it's relatively early in the game, so it isn't much of an issue. But regardless, it's a blast. I really did enjoy playing through this level way more than any other in the first game.
Yes, Heavy Machinery might have that near perfect amount of challenge to enjoyability. However, there is just something about Temple Ruins that just hits that crash craving spot for me perfectly. And honestly, Jaws of Darkness might have been a contender for #1, being that it is longer and more challenging than Temple Ruins, making it more fun. But that snake that destroys the Cortex token in the off-screen box prevented me from doing that. And that's gonna wrap this one up, part 2 of ranking all of the levels in Crash Bandicoot 1. If you happen to miss the first video, the worst video, that'll be in the description down below and maybe somewhere on the screen. I have absolutely no idea. And coming up next time, the bosses. Spoilers, they all suck. Thanks for watching, everybody. I really do hope you enjoyed. If you did, please smash that like button. Please comment down below what your favorite Crash Bandicoot level is. Make sure to hit that subscribe button for more great Crash videos coming up in the future, as well as other great content as well. And crash that notification bell to be alerted when I post new videos. And until next time, peace.